Switzerland 3, Serbia 2, as Brazil and Switzerland advance from this group to the knockout phases. What can I say? Just a bad tournament overall for Serbia. A lot of goals conceded overall. Usually, when you concede a lot of goals, the goalkeeper you can blame for a large number of them. Vanja Milinkovic-Savic, I don't think, was really to blame for maybe for a goal or two out of the however many it is that we conceded. So I mean, in terms of him, I think he's one of the players who could actually hold his head up high. The rest was bad. Backline terrible, slow. Three at the back, I don't think is going to work with this team. I know it did in previous qualifying phases in the Nations League and what have you. But when you get to the World Cup, you're facing the best of the best. And the bottom line is it didn't work against the best of the best in the World Cup. The lineup was everything that I think a lot of Serbian fans would have hoped for, with Vlahovic and Mitrovic starting this match. Sergej was back in his normal position. You had Živkovic and Kostic on the wings, and the back line stayed the same as it has been throughout the tournament with Veljkovic, Milenkovic, and Pavlovic. And yeah, I mean, I don't know how you start a match so flat. Switzerland should have scored 15, 20 seconds into the match. Thankfully, they didn't. But it showed us, signs of things to come. And a lot of people thought that Switzerland was going to try to maybe defend a little bit more and not attack as much, because for them, a draw would have been good enough to advance. So there was only one result that basically didn't work out for Switzerland. That was a loss. And they didn't do that. They attacked. Živkovic hits the post in the 10th minute. Then it ricochets off Mitrovic and Vlahovic, and it right into goalkeeper's hands. Maybe that was another thing that, you kind of saw coming, like maybe we don't win this. I think the goal from Mitrovic was just a classic Mitrovic goal. I just thought that maybe I didn't want to celebrate too early because I thought there was a foul in the build-up. It wasn't. The player didn't even get touched. And that's very easy for Mitrovic to finish. The Vlahovic goal was also, you can say it was a pretty nice goal when you consider he's going one way, the ball goes the other way. And at 2-1, you can see it again. A very bad goal to Brelembolo, who's just in the right. I mean, that's way harder to miss than it is to score. So, you're back to 2-2. There was nothing in the middle of the pitch where Lukic and Sergej Milinkovic-Savic played. There was nothing there from them. Sergej, very disappointing tournament yet again. He was bad in 2018, where I kept on saying he had 15 really good minutes against Costa Rica, and the rest he was very quiet, and it was like that in this tournament as well. I think he had maybe 15 good minutes prior to his goal against Cameroon, and then he's nowhere to be seen today. No excuses. If he's not injured, if he's on the pitch playing, he's not injured. He's ready to go, so I don't want to hear that he picked up knocks, because at this point, a lot of guys are dealing with injuries, whether they sustain them at their club or during this World Cup. So I don't want to hear excuses for him. A lot was expected from him. He didn't show much. Tadic, I thought, was okay today. But again, as the leader, I love him as a captain. I love the way he motivates players. I love even after final whistle, he's going to go over and shake everyone's hand from the opposing team. But we needed more from him in this tournament. I said this, I don't know if I said this in my last video, but we brought in 3 strikers. 2 came in banged up with injuries. That was Vlahovic and Mitrovic. Mitrovic, I understand bringing him in since the leading goal scorer for Serbia. Vlahovic, I'm not sure I agree with bringing him, because he's only been playing for the national team for, a year and a half. And if he picked up a knock that's going to keep him out of the lineup, I don't think that you could bring in a player like that, because he's taking someone else's position who can come on and score goals and maybe cause havoc and do some different things. So I don't agree with that. And he went off in the 55th, 60th minute. Clearly, he wasn't able to go. I had tweeted at the time, Jovic has to come on, but I thought someone like Sergej Milinkovic-Savic would go off, or someone like Lukic. That wasn't the case. And the substitutions really didn't bring in much. Juricic didn't bring in much. Radonic, a lot of the guys just didn't bring in much. Gudel, I thought he was pretty bad when he came on. We just couldn't contain Brelembolo. Very strong player. Credit to him for scoring that goal. And I think Switzerland controlled most of this match and had the better chances. They capitalized on most of their chances. Like I said, just a disappointing tournament overall, because the team came in with high expectations. I can honestly say that I didn't come in with my expectations were, let's try to get out of this group. My expectation wasn't, oh, well, we're already out of this group and let's wait to see who we're facing in the round of 16 and so on and so forth. That wasn't my expectation. Switzerland's a quality side. Remember, they finished first in a group that featured Italy. I believe they only allowed 2 goals in qualifying. So very defensively sound, and we saw that today. The way that they closed down the match is exactly how Serbia should have closed down the match against Cameroon, which we couldn't do. And then a point would have probably been actually, I don't know, with the Cameroon win, I don't know if a point would have been enough, but they really showed us the blueprint on how to close out a match, which we couldn't do with a 2-goal lead. And ultimately, I think that this World Cup was lost in the match against Cameroon. We had to get 3 points from there, and then we had to get 3 points from here as well. I don't want to hear that, I'm never playing to draw. You got to get the 3 points. And 6 points would have taken you through. So we weren't able to do that. And it's disappointing because, like, again, I said, there was a lot of talk before the tournament, a lot of players talking, a lot of the media talking, and we lived up to none of that. We're very noisy off the pitch, very noisy with everything that's been in the media, whether true or false. Very noisy national team. Guys who aren't very well conditioned from what I've seen, especially in that second half. I feel like the last 30 minutes we were just waiting for the referee to blow the final whistle and to end the match because we had nothing else left. I think that's an issue as well. And I think ultimately players playing in positions that maybe they're not used to. So Živković isn't necessarily left wing back or right wing back, whatever he plays. He's a left midfielder, left wing. And, I think he did very well in this tournament. I should probably state that as well, considering the position that he had to play and all those things. But we don't have left backs, we don't have right backs. Kostis, I thought in the 2 matches that he played was good. I thought he was really good against Cameroon. I thought he was okay today. But again, it felt like everything that we tried to do, we went away from attacking Widmer, which we did in the first half, and we did it very well. And we kind of went away from that. And he was already on the yellow card, so you're supposed to attack that player and force him to defend and put pressure on him, which we didn't do as the match went on. Like I said, again, this is probably Tadic's last rodeo at a World Cup. He's, I think, 34 years old, so I doubt he's going to be at the next one. Extremely disappointed in Sergei Milinkovic-Savic in this tournament. Again, apart from the goal and from 15-20 minutes that he played well, there's nowhere to be seen. The players up top, Mitrovic did the best he can, scored 2 goals this tournament. But yeah, I think with Vanya in net, we at least have a goalkeeper for the next, 10 years or so. And we have good backups too in Rajkovic and Dimitrovic. So I think that's a position we have to worry about. But we really have to worry about our center backs. We gave Switzerland way too much space on the wings. They got whatever they could. We're just way too slow. We saw that from literally the opening kickoff to when Switzerland had a chance. We couldn't really do much of anything. And yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what Stojkovic does if he stays on. I hope he does. I think he's going to learn from this, but it's going to be interesting. Maybe the pressure is getting to him as well. And yeah, maybe he's got the most out of these guys, truth be told. And the thing is, a lot of these guys who are on this national team, a lot of them aren't really team leaders, so to say, on their teams. So Dusan Tadic, you could point out, as one guy. You can have Alexander Mitrovic in that conversation as well. Sergei Milinkovic-Savic, if you want to include him in that, maybe, but they have Ciro Immobile there and some other players. So if you want to include them, that's fair. That's 3 players. And I don't know if it's kind of like the Italian style, but like the build-up was very slow. It was, and I think Sergei's kind of used to playing that way when he plays for Lazio and maybe Lukic is as well. But that didn't work out well today. There was times where, Dusan Vlahovic was playing center back or right wing back, so to say, and Mitrovic was covering the flank, and it was just all over the place. It was just, we panicked way too early. And honestly, even when we had to show our quality, we didn't do that very well. We scored the 2 goals, but we obviously needed more. I tweeted out at halftime we're going to need to score 4 in this match if we're going to win, and that's go figure. They scored 3, and we would have needed 4. And I don't have the math in front of me. I don't even know if we would have gone on if we won this because of the Cameroon match and Cameroon beating Brazil. So yeah, overall very disappointing. Again, high expectations from the team. I thought we would fight to get out of this group. Switzerland, obviously, quality side. Cameroon, very good. Brazil is Brazil. And yeah, just a very disappointing performance from the team, like as a total, and from some of our main players as well.